What if I told you it only takes 5 seconds for a resume to lose when viewed by the hiring manager? In this week's episode, I'll be breaking down the 5 resume moves that make recruiters stop scrolling. Make sure to tune in until the end, as number 5 is the one beginners always skip. Let's get into it. Most resumes do not fail because the person is unqualified. They fail because the resume does not make that obvious fast enough. Recruiters spend only a few seconds on an initial scan, so clutter, vague wording, and messy structure can bury a strong candidate before anyone sees the good stuff. So in the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through 5 resume moves using AI that can turn a confusing first draft into something recruiters actually want to keep reading. We will do them one at a time, because the point is not to overwhelm you. It is to give you a simple workflow you can actually use. And the last one is the one almost everybody skips, even though it can make the biggest difference when you are ready to apply. If you are a beginner, I want this to land for real. You do not need a perfect career history to build a strong resume. You need clarity. You need structure. You need a way to take all the random pieces, like retail shifts, class projects, volunteer work, or even part-time jobs, and make them into an impactful story. And that is why AI is so useful here. Not because it magically invents experience you do not have, but because it helps you organize the mess, sharpen the language, and make the strongest parts impossible to miss. That is the whole game. So if you have ever stared at a blank resume and thought, I do not have enough, this video is for you. By the time we are done, you are going to see that you probably have more usable material than you think. The real question is whether you know how to package it. We will start with the most important decision of all, because once you know where you are aiming, everything else gets a lot easier. Our first move is simple, but it changes everything. Pick one target role, then build one master resume around it. And I really want to stress that word, one, because most beginners make the same mistake. They try to make a resume that works for everything, and that usually means it works for nothing. Before long, it turns into a messy document that feels vague and generic. Here is the better move. Choose a single role you actually want. Then ask AI to help you understand what that role is really looking for. Not just the title, the actual pattern behind the title. For example, you could say, help me understand the top skills, tools, and experience that matter for an entry-level customer support role. That gives you a map. Now you are not guessing. You are building on purpose. Your master resume is not the final version you send everywhere. It is your home base. It is the full file where you collect every relevant class project, part-time job, volunteer role, club activity, and achievement that could support that one target role. Then later you trim and tailor from there. If you are thinking, but I do not have much experience, good. That is exactly why this step matters. A master resume helps you see that you probably have more usable material than you realize. You just have not organized it yet. So take one job posting, open a blank document, and build around that. Because once you know the destination, everything else gets easier. All right, our second move is where things start to click. Once you know the target role, the next question is not, do I have enough experience? The real question is, what have I already done that proves I can do this job? This is where beginners usually underrate themselves. You might look at a retail job, a babysitting gig, a school project, or helping out at a family business and think, that does not sound resume worthy. But that is exactly the kind of experience we want to mine. The trick is simple. Do not start by asking, what job titles do I have? Start by asking, what did I actually do? If you babysat, that is trust, responsibility, scheduling, conflict handling, and staying calm when things get messy. If you worked a cashier job, that is accuracy, speed, handling money, helping customers, and staying focused in a fast-paced environment. That absolutely counts. So do this now. Take a blank page and make 3 columns. In the first column, list every experience you have. Don't worry if they sound small. In the second column, write the skills those experiences prove. In the third column, write one specific moment that shows it. Not I am responsible. Instead, I was trusted to open the store, or I organized the team notes before presentations, or I handled after-school pickup, homework, and dinner prep without missing deadlines. That third column is the proof. That is the part most people skip. If you want to use AI here, give it raw material, not perfection. Enter something like, here are my experiences. Help me identify transferable skills and concrete proof points for an entry-level customer support resume, then paste in your notes and let it sort the ideas with you. Recruiters are not looking for a perfect life story. They are looking for evidence that you can show up, learn fast, and do the work. Now that you have the raw material, the third move is where AI really starts to shine. We need to turn those rough wins into achievement bullets. Here is the easiest formula I want you to use: action, scope, result. What did you do? How much did you handle? What changed because of it? AI is amazing at helping you reshape a messy note into that structure. So let's say your raw win is helped customers at the store. Now feed that into AI with a prompt like, turn this into a strong resume bullet. Keep it honest, beginner friendly, and use action, scope, result. A better version might become helped 30 or more customers per shift, answered common questions quickly, and kept checkout lines moving during busy hours. If you do not have numbers, do not panic. AI can help you find honest ways to estimate scope. You do not need fake precision, you need believable specificity. Try this with school, volunteering, or a part-time job. That is the shift. You are not inventing experience. You are upgrading how the experience reads. So take your rough notes, paste or upload them into an AI chatbot and type. Rewrite these notes into 3 versions, one conservative, one stronger, and one optimized for a specific job. Then edit them back into your own voice. Because the best resume bullets do not sound fancy, they sound clear, confident, and real. And once your bullets read like evidence instead of chores, the top of the resume gets a lot easier to write. Now let's talk about the part of the resume that has to do the most heavy lifting, and this is our 4th move. Your headline and summary are the first things people notice, so they need to answer 3 questions right away. Who are you? What are you good at? And what role are you trying to get? Start with the headline. Keep it simple, clear, and specific. Throughout this process, use AI to help you brainstorm those rough headlines. You then move to the summary. This will be your short pitch, which is usually 2 or 3 lines. Here is the AI trick that makes this much easier. Take your rough headline and ask AI for 5 variations. Then ask it, which version sounds clearest to a recruiter for this specific job? That second question is where beginners get a big advantage, because the goal is not to sound fancy. The goal is to sound obvious. Clear beats clever every time. Read your headline and summary out loud. If you stumble, trim it. If it sounds like corporate fog, cut it down again. If a stranger can understand your value in 10 seconds, you are on the right track. Now, we are at the point where AI stops being your writing helper and starts acting like the recruiter you wish you could talk to before you apply. So here is the final and 5th move. Do not ask AI, does this look okay? That question is too soft. Ask it to be picky. Try this instead. Act like a recruiter reviewing this resume for an entry-level marketing assistant role. Tell me what feels weak, what feels unclear, what sounds too broad, and what should be cut first. That one prompt changes everything, because now AI is not just editing your sentences, it is pressure testing your draft. When it gives you feedback, look for the usual trouble spots. Weak verbs, empty phrases like helped with or responsible for. Bullets that sound like job duties instead of proof. Things that sound fine to you but tell a recruiter almost nothing. If AI says a line is vague, do not take it personally. Then comes the tailoring pass. Paste or upload the job description and ask, which keywords and phrases from this posting should appear naturally in my resume, and which parts of my draft are missing the strongest match? That is how you tailor without sounding robotic. You are not stuffing keywords into a page like a puzzle. You are matching the language of the role to the real things you have done. Then do one final polish pass. Ask AI to check for repetition, tense consistency, messy formatting, and sentences that are too long to skim. Ask it, what would a hiring manager notice in the first 10 seconds, and what would make them keep reading? Good writing is good thinking made visible. That is exactly what we want here. Clean thinking, clear proof, no fluff. And one important warning, AI should sharpen your story, not invent one. Most people try to write one resume and hope it works for every job. The smarter play is to build your resume on purpose, one step at a time, so it tells a clear story and actually supports the job you want. So let's put the 5 moves together. First, you pick one target role and build a master resume. So you stop aiming at every job and start aiming at one real job. Then you mine your experience for transferable skills and proof. And that is where you realize your retail shift, school project, volunteer work, or part-time job gave you way more material than you thought. Next, you turn raw wins into achievement bullets with AI. So instead of just listing duties, you show what changed because you showed up. After that, you write a headline and summary that make you look hireable fast, because recruiters should know who you are in seconds. And finally, you use AI like a recruiter to stress test, tailor, and polish the final draft until the weak spots are gone. AI is not replacing your story, it is helping you tell it better. AI just helps you shape that raw material into something sharp, readable, and believable. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, do not try to perfect everything at once. Pick one job posting, build the master resume first, then let the workflow do the heavy lifting. And that shift right there is the whole game. If this helped you make sense of where AI is actually going, do two things. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and drop your questions in the comments. We'll see you next time.